Now, with the new year approaching, we can't miss the fact that people are setting New Year's resolutions. And as a Christian homemaker, it is actually really important to set goals so that you have something to work towards. Now, I talked about the reason why in my previous video, which I will link up here, but today I wanted to share with you 10 habits that you can start in 2024 as a Christian homemaker in order to improve your life. So let's dive in and let me share with you the 10 habits that I'm actually working on as well in 2024. Hey, and welcome to my channel. For those that don't know me yet, my name is Stephanie. I'm a wife and I'm a mom to 3 kids, and I love being at home. I love being a homemaker. I love taking care of the house. I love taking care of the children, and I love making content about Christian homemaking. So if you love content like that, I would love to have you as a subscriber. But without further ado, let's start with the 10 habits. Now, the first habit is one that you probably could have guessed from the title, and that is to read your Bible daily. Now, this is something that we should all do every single day because it's just the most important part of being a Christian. So it is really important to have that into your routine. And what I love to do is I like waking up earlier. I like reading when the children are around. So I just read when they are present. So maybe they're playing or they're doing some individual schoolwork. I can read the Bible by myself or I can read it to them. We read it during our morning time. So there's a lot of moments during the day that you can actually read your Bible. And it doesn't have to be an hour-long study. You can also read for 5 minutes, read just 2 or 3 verses and think about that verse all day long. And that can actually be more beneficial than just reading a bunch of chapters and not really getting that into your head. So don't think that reading your Bible has to be a very long period of time. Reading your Bible can also be just 5 minutes every single day and just meditating on that verse while you're doing your chores or while you're cooking or whatever you're doing. So make sure you read your Bible and don't make it more complicated than it is, because it doesn't have to be complicated. Just start somewhere and just start reading. And that is actually my next point, because if you don't know where to start, one of the best ways to start is actually reading a proverb. Not only is Proverbs one of the best books that you can read if you want to learn more about biblical wisdom and what God sees as a biblical woman and just being wise overall, that is a great Bible book to start with. And it also has 31 Bible books. And that is perfect, because then you can read one book every single day and then you will go through the entire book in just 1 month. There's so much wisdom in it that after a year, even if you've read it 12 times, you will read Proverb 1 12 times in a year. There's still something new in that verse or in that Bible book every single month. So reading a proverb a day is definitely something that I highly recommend. And I would recommend reading a proverb every day and then reading a Bible verse or a Bible book or whatever plan you're using next to it, because there's just so much wisdom in Proverbs, but there's also a lot of wisdom in all the other books. So don't just focus on Proverbs, but it is a great way to start. Now, number 3 is actually something that I've done for years now, and I will definitely continue this in 2024, and that is to plan your week. Now, if I don't plan my week, a lot of things just don't get done, because if I don't have it in my planner, I just forget about it. I have so many things on my mind, and I'm sure that you can relate to this. As a mother, there are so many things that come into my mind that I have to do. I need to order this, and I need to work on that, and I need to finish doing that project. There are so many things that you can do as a mother that if I don't write it down, I just simply forget. And I don't do that on purpose, but it just doesn't stay in my head. So I really love putting it down into my planner to really know that I'm actually gonna do it. So make sure you write all your things down and that you plan out your week so that you can actually plan to have date nights and to have time for yourself and to have time to go to the gym or to work or whatever you need to do in a week. Because if you just go by the seat of your pants and you just do whatever comes up, then a lot of times your week will just be filled with things that other people want you to do, and you can easily forget about yourself. So make sure you plan your week and you plan some time for yourself too. And number 4 is the one that I actually mentioned already, and that is to plan date nights. Because if you don't plan date nights, your time with your husband will probably be filled up with things that other people want you to do. There are so many commitments that you can commit to during the week that you might actually forget about your husband. And it's really important to spend quality time with him and to really make sure that you have moments in your week where you just sit down together, where you can talk, where you can have a conversation, where you can just talk about all the things that go on in your mind and to just communicate, because that is one of the most important parts of a marriage. So make sure that you have specific moments in your week where you can have a date night. And we actually have a Saturday that is set aside for date night. And if something comes up on a Saturday, then I can just put it in my calendar and say, okay, Saturday we have something in church, for example, so we're gonna move it over to Friday. And because it's in my planner, I actually know on Friday, hey, today is date night, so I'm gonna put down my phone and we're gonna spend time together. So it's really important to plan it, because if you don't plan it, it doesn't happen. Now, number 5 is one that a lot of people don't want to hear, but that is to wake up earlier. And it is something that has really blessed us over the years. And we kind of been slacking in this department the last couple of months because there have been some illnesses in our family, and anyway, we kind of slacked in this department. So we are going to do better in 2024, and we're going to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day again. And what it did for our family, or for us personally, is that we had way more time with God, and we had really some time to just be with him and to just read the Bible and to just be quiet, because there was nobody asking our attention. Our phones were quiet because people were still sleeping. Our children were still sleeping. Nothing was demanded of us. So we could just be present, and we could just really spend some focused time with God. And that is so important. So that is something we are definitely going to be implementing back into our daily routine in 2024. And I would highly recommend you do the same, because as a mother and as a homemaker, a lot of times our day is just filled with a lot of things, and it's so hard to just have a moment of quietness and stillness and to just sit down and read God's words. So waking up earlier will definitely help you do that. Now, number 6 is one that I really want to focus on in 2024. I love doing it, but I haven't been doing it enough, in my opinion, and that is to pray over my family when I'm doing chores. So when I'm folding my husband's clothes, for example, I want to pray for him, and I want to bless him and everything he does. And I want to pray over our children when I'm making their breakfast or when I'm making lunches. I really want to focus on blessing them while I'm doing my chores. Now, it is not that hard, but it's something that I constantly forget about. So I really want to put it down on sticky notes and hang it all over my house to make sure that I actually think about it when I'm doing my chores and when I'm in the kitchen, to pray over the family that I've been given, and to really make sure that I'm constantly talking with God and I'm constantly putting my children before him. So this is definitely one that I'm focusing on in 2024. I'm really determined to make this one work. So let's do that. Now, number 7 is one that I recently started again. I have done this in the past, and that is Bible journaling. I really do love just having some time set aside for journaling in my Bible, and to make sure that I really grasp what is in that Bible verse. And that is something that I really love to do. And I actually recently bought a new Bible, which I will link in the description below. And that is a ESV journaling Bible. And it really helps to write a lot of notes next to your Bible. And I actually have a bunch of Bible supplies that I really love that I will also link in the description. It is really important to have some time to journal your thoughts and to really write down, what does this verse do to me, and why do I love this verse, and what is God telling me through this verse, and maybe even just journaling your day and saying, okay, what did God do for me today, and what was my day like, and how can I improve tomorrow? Things like that can really help you to really stay focused on your goals and to really make sure that you are actually doing the things that you want to do and you're becoming the person that you want to become. So journaling is definitely one of those skills that can really help you move further in life if you do them. Now, number 8 is to learn a new skill. Now, as homemakers, we are constantly learning and we're constantly improving the skills that we're already having, but it's also fun to learn new skills every single year. And I love to focus on just one skill that I focus on in that year. So in the past, I've had learning how to bake sourdough bread, I've had learning how to crochet and how to knit, all those things that I just think are fun and actually really important to learn as a homemaker. And one thing that I really want to focus on this year is learn how to sew, because I have a sewing machine. I know how it works in very, very basic terms, but I really want to learn how to sew because I love having the possibility to just create a fun skirt for my daughter, for example, or to create a fun tablecloth. But I really want to learn how that sewing machine actually works and how I can work with it. So that is one of my goals this year, but it's really fun to focus on it. And the year that I learned how to bake sourdough bread was so fun because we learned all those new things that we now incorporate into our everyday life. And it's because I focus on one new skill. So don't go overboard. Don't focus on 4, 5, 6 new skills. Focus on one. And if, for example, in July, you're like, okay, I am a pro at this. I can be the best baker in town. Then add in a new one if you want. But I really find it very helpful to focus on just one thing, make sure that actually is into my system really well, instead of just doing all different things and not learning anything really well. So focus on one, and then if you feel like you're a pro at it, you can add in more. Now, number 9 is one that you've also heard me talk about before, and that is to turn off your TV more often. Because if you have your TV turned on all day, every day, so much negativity will come into your mind, and it will actually reflect in how you act and how you are as a mother and as a homemaker. So that is one of the biggest reasons that I love having that TV turned off. But my main reason for having the TV turned off is that you can actually be way more present with your family, with your children, with your home, with just life, basically. Because if you're constantly sucked into that TV or in your phone, because let's be honest, our phone is often one of those things that grabs our attention all the time. If you're constantly sucked into that machine, then you forget about real life. And real life is the most important thing. That is your ministry as a mother. And as a homemaker, your home and your family is your ministry. So make sure you focus on the thing that is actually important and not focus too much on all the fluff that comes next to it, because this is the role that God gave us, and we really need to be present in that role instead of scrolling our Instagram. And when our daughter or when our son says, "Hey mom, look at the train that I made," and we're like, "Oh yeah, beautiful," and we just keep scrolling, that doesn't bless your family, that doesn't bless your child, and it will actually give them the feeling that your phone is more important than them. And that is never something that we want as a mother. So be more mindful of how much time you spend on your phone or on a screen in general, and then turn it off way more often. And then number 10 is one that I started last year. That was my main goal for 2023, or for the last part of 2023, I should say, and that is to close your kitchen at night. And this is something that I actually kind of learned from my mother, because my mother never did this. And I really didn't like it when I was younger, when I came downstairs and the kitchen was filled with stuff from the night before. And I remember when my husband actually came into our family, he told me, "I really don't like that full kitchen every single day." And it is something that he actually told me a lot of times. And last year I finally decided, okay, this is the year. I'm never gonna do this again. I'm never gonna have a kitchen filled with dirty dishes again. I want to close my kitchen every single night. I want to make sure that it looks clean for the next day, and that when my husband comes downstairs, he will see a clean kitchen. It will just be a nice inviting space for him to come into and to make himself coffee, or to grab a cup of tea, or to make me coffee because he makes the best, by the way. But it is just it's really inviting to get into that kitchen and to do something, instead of walking in and seeing all the dirty dishes and just seeing a bunch of work that you need to do before you can actually do what you need to do. So closing your kitchen every single night has been an absolute game changer for us. And it's actually so easy. After dinner, you just put everything in the kitchen. You have 15, maybe 30 minutes that you are in the kitchen. You're cleaning up all the mess. And then you have your entire evening for yourself, because closing your kitchen basically just means having an empty sink and having a clean counter. And it's not that hard to do that. It's just something that we have in our mind where we say, okay, I really deserve a break. I did so much today. I'm just going to sit here and I'll do it tomorrow. And it's from a form of laziness. And I've talked about laziness before. That is something that I really struggled with. And I will put that video up here. But it's really important to not let laziness take over, and to really say, no, I want to make sure that this kitchen is closed every single night. So that is what I'm going to do right now. And it's only going to take you, like I said, 15, maybe 30 minutes. And then your kitchen looks amazing for the next day. So I would say that is a very good habit to start in 2024. So those were my 10 habits that I'm actually focusing on as well this year. And I'm curious what your habits are going to be this year. And if you're going to do one of these with me, or maybe all of them you're going to do with me. So let me know in the comments down below, so I can pray for you and I can really lift you up in my prayers to make sure that you actually stick to the goals. And I would just wanted to say thank you so much for 2023. If you've been here before, it has been an amazing year, and I'm really looking forward to all the things that we're going to do in 2024. I have amazing ideas for this channel. So if you want to be a part of that, feel free to subscribe, and I would love to see you in my next video.